Live breaking news from your news channel.
Right now on your news channel, live at 4, we're following major breaking news. Extensive flooding, creeks raging and overflowing, and evacuation orders for entire communities in parts of Santa Barbara County. We're tracking a damaging storm hitting our region, and we have live team coverage right now at 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm Scott Hennessy.
And I'm Beth Farnsworth. We are awaiting another news conference from Santa Barbara County leaders. This would be their third one today. We will bring that to you live as soon as it begins. We start, though, with what's happening right now with this major storm.
And we see the evacuation areas there in Montecito. The call went out earlier today. The entire community of Montecito has been told to evacuate today.
And for more on that, we want to go live now to this press conference with Santa Barbara County leaders. They are starting as we speak. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon. My name is David Niels. I'm one of the Unified Incident Commanders for the Santa Barbara County Operational Area All Hazard Incident Management Team. Today, the entire county of Santa Barbara is experiencing the effects of a very complex series of storms. There are multiple areas under evacuation orders, and we need the public's adherence to these orders as we expect additional high-intensity rainfall in the overnight hours. I'd like to introduce meteorologist Eric Bolt from the National Weather Service, who will give an update on our current weather conditions.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's been quite a busy day. So far we've had about 5.5 inches of rain in downtown Santa Barbara. And as you go up just a little bit into the foothills, we're seeing 6+ inches. Up in the higher terrain, 8 to 11 inches. And so far, San Marcos Pass has received over 12 inches of rain in 24 hours. As far as we know, this is a historical record for that amount of rain in that location. So unprecedented rainfall right now, and has been occurring throughout the day. The bad news is we're not out of it yet. So the heavy rain is starting to move back into the area. It's just about to the Santa Barbara airport right now. We should expect to see heavy rain return to the city of Santa Barbara and Montecito and the rest of the South Coast in the next hour. Right now, the best guess would be that this is going to be pretty intense for the next 4 hours. I would say until 8 o'clock this evening. We're going to see, again, burst of very heavy rain. We've seen rain rates up to 1.45 inches per hour today. And another reference is 2.5 to 3.5 inches of rain in 3 hours. This is why it is a very dangerous situation for flash flooding in all areas, not just old burn scars, but also in the metro area itself. So once we get past about 8 o'clock this evening, there will be a noticeable break in the precipitation for 5, maybe even 6 hours. But after the midnight hour, the air mass is going to become more unstable, and we ought to see more showers redeveloping and even a couple of thunderstorms. And this is what we're going to anticipate for the rest of late tonight and through Tuesday morning, probably until about 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. So the good news is that rainfall is not quite as widespread, but it can still be very intense and cause these heavy hourly rates that cause all kinds of flash flood potential. So we still have a ways to go. Like I said, we have a break coming after about 8 o'clock tonight, but we need to be prepared for more rain late tonight and into tomorrow morning. That's all I have on the briefing.
Thank you, Eric. Next up, I'd like to bring Chief Ederer. He's one of our operation chiefs for the Incident Management Team 3.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Travis Ederer. I'm one of the operations section chiefs here for the Incident Management Team. I only have a couple key points. A lot of the stuff has already been out there, but the number one, the main key point is that all of the agency fire departments or area fire departments are open for business, and we're able to respond to all your high priority calls. There's no question about that. Most, if not all, the agencies have done some kind of upstaffing. Some of them called everybody back possible. So there's a lot of extra service people out there willing and able to respond to your emergencies. Along with that, due to all of our pre-planning, we're able to shift resources a lot across the county to respond to not only the high priority, but also the lower acuity calls related to the storm. As you're aware, all the evacuations in place with the Cave Fire, the Alisal, and the Thomas were ordered earlier, and then we've added a lot of things in the South Coast as well, Montecito, part of Santa Barbara City, areas of Carpinteria, and I would expect, depending on the weather, there could be more. It's hard to say for sure. We've had over 200 calls for service related to the storm within the county. Most of those have been responded to and closed out. Some of those are still pending. Like I said, we're able to respond to those high priority calls, so some of these storm-related calls kind of get pushed down a little bit, and we get to them as we can. We've also responded to 5 water rescues throughout the county, 2 of which were in Lompoc City, and another handful throughout the county, which one's still in progress. A couple of things to think about. If you're not in an evacuation area from the operations side and you have no need to go out of your house, please stay home. The problem we're having is a lot of extra traffic on the roadway is not necessarily evacuating, but there's so many roadway issues in the South Coast and areas in the North County, that they're impeding our response to the calls. So if you don't need to be out of your house, please stay home until this event is over. So just in closing, over a couple hundred calls that we responded to successfully, a handful still in service, calls still happening, shifted a lot of resources all over the county to help different agencies as their call volume increases. And remember, our goal here is to stabilize this incident from the operations side, get everybody home as soon as possible. But to do that, we have to be able to get to all these calls, manage them, mitigate them, and then make sure it's safe for everybody to get back home. With all that being said, if you can help us in any way possible by staying home, do that, and we'll get out of your hair as soon as possible. Have a good day.
Thank you, Chief Ederer. Next up, I'd like to introduce Santa Barbara County Sheriff Brown.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bill Brown, the Sheriff of Santa Barbara County. As was said, we've had quite a day today, and we still have a lot more to go. This storm is still impacting the entire county, and it is especially impacting the South County. We're continuing to consult with both the Weather Service and the fire protection agencies across the county with respect to our evacuation orders and our shelter-in-place advisories. The rain has caused localized flooding throughout the county. We've had many impacts from that, and as a result of that, we have evacuation orders that are in place for the entire community of Montecito, numerous parts of Carpinteria, Summerland area, and also the Alisal and the Painted Cave burn scars. The one asterisk continues with the Alisal area because Refugio Road is completely impassable now as a result of the runoff just being too deep to be able to cross safely on that road. We are asking everybody in that area to shelter in place and just remain where they are. But we're really kind of asking everybody in the county to shelter in place, as it were. If you, as just mentioned, if you don't have a need to be out and about, please do not go out driving today or even tomorrow up until at least midday. We are dealing with a tremendous number of road closures. Some of the most significant ones on the local level would include Kinnevin Road, Refugio Road, as I just mentioned, Stagecoach Road from Paradise to Highway 154, and the 2300 block of Sycamore Canyon Road are all closed. There are other closures as well, but I'm going to give you an update on the situation with Highway 101 because that is the biggest impact. I'm speaking on behalf of Captain Mike Logie of the California Highway Patrol, who tried to get to this press conference, but he's been unable to because of the traffic situation. So in terms of what we're dealing with there, let me give you the update. The Highway Patrol is in the process of closing the northbound 101 at State Route 33 in Ventura in order to try to stop traffic coming into the county at this point. They have had several closures for the northbound lanes that have been closed due to flooding in the Carpinteria and Montecito areas. They are going to try to reopen 101 northbound at Cabrillo, which has been closed, but the idea is we want to try to open up northbound within the greater Santa Barbara area, so that people who are evacuating can come up into the area and go wherever they're going to be staying, whether that's at a shelter, whether that's at a friend's house, whether that's at a hotel. The problem is really exacerbated, especially to the north. Highway 154 is completely closed due to major rockfall that has occurred, and it is not going to be opened today. It is going to be a pretty arduous process. Likewise, the Highway 101 is closed at Mariposa because of a significant rockfall that has occurred at Gaviota. That rockfall, which basically was a rock net that has fallen out, I-beams have come out of the ground, and there's a significant amount of rock that's up there that is going to require a contractor to come in with heavy equipment to remove it. And I have been told that that will not occur today, that we're going to be looking at a closure of northbound 101 until tomorrow at some point, and we don't know at this point when that is going to be. But there are big boulders and rock blocking that and blocking 154. So southbound Highway 101 is still open, but I would caution anybody that comes south that you're not going to be able to go north, to go back if you are from the North County. So reassess whatever it is that your need is to come down there. Likewise, 192, Highway 192, several spots have had running water that is coming over the road right now, and the 144 at Barker Pass Road, the area of Sycamore Canyon around Westmont College, that area is also having major problems and closures as well. The 150 is closed due to a rock slide, and Highway 33 is closed at mile marker 12, also due to a rock slide as well. So it would appear that, again, unless there is some real need that someone has to be out and about, you should really be concentrating on staying home and staying informed if you are outside those evacuation areas. I've been in touch with Santa Barbara School Superintendent, and she has been in touch with the superintendents of all the schools in Santa Barbara County. We have made a recommendation that they close the schools tomorrow and not have our young people come in tomorrow, again, to limit the traffic of students and staff getting to and from schools. And it particularly is of concern because you have school staff who work in the north who live in the south and vice versa. And so that has been the recommendation, so you can check with your local school districts to see if school is going to be open tomorrow or not. I also forgot to mention, when I mentioned the roads, there's a Highway 1 between Black and Solomon Road is also closed due to flooding as well. I want to just also, on behalf of Captain Logie, relay some safety concerns and issues that he asked to be addressed. Basically, please don't travel unless you have an absolute necessity to, and if you do, please watch your speed. We have a lot of people that are speeding in an unsafe manner for conditions. The water that's on the ground out there now doesn't mean that if you're in a 55 or a 65 zone, it's safe to drive 55 or 65. You need to drive safely for the conditions, so please be cognizant of that. standing water. If there's standing water in the roadway and you are going at speed, you are going to hydroplane, and your vehicle is at risk of spinning out and going off the highway. If you have a vehicle that you have to go out in, make sure that its tires and its windshield wipers are working. And also, there's going to be a lot of road crews out on the roads this evening doing road work and fixing, and so move over in your lane if you're passing a road crew. Give them a break. All of this is something that we need to continue to be cognizant of and be aware of as we go through this today. So again, just to recap, we're not out of the woods yet. We've got more heavy rain coming today. We'll get a little bit of a respite into this evening, and then it's expected tomorrow morning, additional rain and potential for thunderstorms, which also can cause heavy downpours, which are of major concern to us as well. So again, I thank everybody for their patience, and I encourage you again to get to readysbc.org for staying in tune and updated with what the situation is. And just a little later here in the presentation, we'll have some information about shelters and other alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Brown. I'd like to bring up Chief Niels for some closing remarks before we get into questions. Chief Niels.
As the storm impacts the county and its communities in an unprecedented manner, our team wants to ensure the residents of all jurisdictions throughout the county of Santa Barbara that all first responders have been called to duty. We are lockstep with our partners both at the county and state level, and I wanted to reiterate that our Office of Emergency Services has a tremendous website with all updated information at www.readysbc.org for pending information and updates to the storm activity and evacuations. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Niels. It's been brought to my attention that I should mention that there is a signed declaration of emergency that is being presented to the Board of Supervisors. In addition, that we are asking people not to be driving during these conditions. So if you're in the North County and that's not where you live, we do have shelters for them in the North County as well as the South County. That kind of concludes this portion of the briefing. We'd like to go into any questions that the press or the media may have. Are there any questions? Please.
There was a question earlier that I asked about space at the emergency shelters. Have we extended that space? Or?
Sure. I'd like to bring up Kelly Hubbard from Office of Emergency Management.
Thank you. So Kelly Hubbard, Director of Office of Emergency Management. Currently, the Wake Center is still not at capacity. We are working to identify a second site in South County and working to identify a site in North County, just again in anticipation that we are asking people not to drive and they may not be able to get home if they went to work. So looking to get those sites confirmed hopefully soon within the next half hour, and then we can get that information out through a media advisory and on our website.
Thank you, Kelly. Next question. Go ahead.
Question, what can seniors and most vulnerable do? What's being done for them?
Okay.
What resources for them?
Bring up Office of Emergency Management, Kelly Hubbard.
Okay, so if it's our seniors who have evacuated and they are looking for a safe place to go, our shelters are prepared and ready to take care of those seniors or anyone with any types of access or functional needs. They have the resources there and the right equipment, as well as staffing to help address those concepts. If they are at home and they are worried or concerned about what they might have at home to support them, if at any point they feel unsafe and they need emergency support, they can call 911. If they're looking for more resources or information, I would encourage them to call 211 or our county call center. I'll repeat that call center number for everyone, 833-688-5551.
Thank you, Kelly. Next question. Go ahead.
Do you expect the Alisol shelter in place to change?
Sheriff Brown?
That'll change based on the condition of Refugio Road. So in other words, once that gets to the point where the road is accessible again, then we will switch. If the conditions are remaining the same as they are now, we would switch from that shelter in place to an evacuation order. If it got to the point where conditions had lessened overall and it was safe to remain there, then we would advise accordingly. But at this point, it's still shelter in place for people that are in the Alice Hall burn area.
Can you reiterate this Highway 101 closures, both north and south?
Sure. The Highway 101 is closed northbound, essentially at Gaviota. Due to a fall at Gaviota, they're turning traffic around at Mariposa Reina, thank you. The southbound had been sort of sporadically closed in a couple of spots, and that is going to be a fluid situation based on flooding, whether or not a particular ramp is closed or not. I will add that there are also issues with southbound travel beyond Santa Barbara's borders. The Ventura area, you know, anybody that's done it recently knows there's a lot of construction that's underway there, and they're having some issues as well in La Conchita. So the reality is it's potentially down to 2, maybe 1 lane. And again, if you can avoid travel, any travel, southbound or northbound, today's the day to avoid it.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any other questions? Okay, great. This concludes the 4 o'clock briefing. Please stay tuned and follow your local media and your local government social media outlets there for more information. Thank you very much.
The word unprecedented was used numerous times during this press conference, the third press conference today, Scott.
Unprecedented rainfall throughout the day. That was from Eric Bolt. And just to reiterate what we heard from Kelly Hubbard with Emergency Services, those of you who may need a place to go, she did reference the evacuation shelter, the Wake Center. Just want to give you the address. That's 300 North Turnpike. That is a place that people can go. And at an earlier press conference, Sheriff Brown put out there people from Montecito, these places that are having to evacuate, hotels can fill up. If you have a place that you can offer to someone you know who lives in these areas, that is a good thing to consider.
Open up your home if you've got
Yes.
the room. Absolutely. And we know that we have a new record rain rate for San Marcos Pass, more than 12 inches in 24 hours. Santa Barbara alone received 5.5 inches, more than 8 inches in Montecito, and we know the heavier rains are coming. We can hear them here at the station.
Right. As we hear, it's going to continue here for a while. And Krista Kirkchin is in the First Alert Weather Center with more of those details. Krista.
That's right. Like Beth just mentioned, north of 8 inches in Montecito. I updated this just a moment ago. It's changing every second, every minute. I will bring you those updates, every weather hit that I do have. Here's a look at some of those rainfall totals. More than 5 inches in San Luis Obispo, more than 4 in Santa Ynez, more than 3 in Paso, and just below that in Santa Maria. And we are actually expecting much more rain. Here's a look at that live storm tracker. Between now and about 8 p.m. is when we are expecting heavy rainfall over much of the area. This strong Pacific storm has really parked itself over much of the area, bringing widespread heavy rain for several hours. Here's a closer look. Paso, Atascadero, once again, we heard many times, if you don't have to be on the roads, avoid travel by all means today. Stay where you are, stay nice and safe as well. Flooding already occurred for much of the area as well. So anywhere shaded in yellow or red, of course, does mean heavier rainfall at this time. Pismo Beach, Arroyo Grande. And as we make our way further down inland, California Valley, much more of the same. Make sure to stay indoors, shelter in place. We're expecting heavy rain for several hours now, and more rain is expected in the forecast tomorrow as well. Here's a closer look. Gaviota, once again, this is impacting roads, this is impacting homes. And once again, stay put. Montecito, they've been hit really hard, north of 8 inches for much of the area. Ojai, Fillmore, Santa Paula, much more of the same. I'll have a look at my updated full forecast in a few minutes. For now, back to you.
All right, Krista, thank you. We want to take you out live into the elements now. News Channel reporter John Palmentary monitoring the situation in Montecito.
And he joins us now live. And what are you seeing at this hour? That creek really raging behind you, John.
deluge of water is coming down. The rain is really picking up out here in Montecito, next to Montecito Creek. We're on Olive Mill Road, just down from Hot Springs, an area notorious for flooding over when we get these heavy rains. And look at the creek start to pick up its energy once again. In the last hour, things simmered down a little bit, and now it is getting a full head of steam with this latest rain and all the runoff that's coming down from the mountains above us in the watershed of Montecito. It hasn't gone up and over the wall, but if you look to the right, it did earlier today. So it does have the potential of throwing rocks out on the roadway, mud and dirt, and that caused flooding down below on Olive Mill and Coast Village Road, which turned into a lake right where they're going to build a roundabout. As you know, that's the intersection by the Montecito Inn, and it was torrential at that time, flooding right at the time when they called for the evacuation of Montecito. So we had hundreds of cars coming down. We had a swamped out intersection, and we had this creek right here, which continues to go down and over its embankment here. But we understand at the far end, down by Hickson and La Vuelta and North Jameson Lane, it has flooded over there as well. That is an area right next to Highway 101, and those narrow culverts that go underneath the freeway are exactly what they're worried about when you have Oak Creek, Romero Creek, Buena Vista, and now Montecito Creek all filling up with rocks and debris. And this flow of water, it's just not going to work. We've seen it before. It's likely going to gush over, especially if we get all the rain that you're describing up in the upper elevations. This creek, for those of you that don't know, starts up about Mountain Drive is where you would normally see it, by Ashley Road as well. It comes down by Para Grande. We've been there many times before. That looked pretty good a couple of hours ago. You come down here, you've got this twist and turn and S to it, and that's where it's hitting the walls and gushing over the sides. So it's not handling these turns very well, and it's got a lot of force, and we certainly do see it pick up with a lot of violence and force. And if you listen carefully, you can hear the rumbling of the rocks that are in this water and the debris you can see going by. So it shows you that there's a lot going on in there. They'll be very concerned about if this goes over its embankment later on. That's the very latest from Montecito Creek on Olive Mill Road. I'm News Channel reporter John Palmentary.
Yeah, powerful video there, John. Thank you very much. Highway 101 northbound in Gaviota has been closed since this morning. Here's video of the closure. The highway was closed at Mariposa Reina because of multiple rock slides and flooding. This is what Sheriff Brown was speaking about just moments ago. Highway 154 is closed in both directions, which means there is no way for people to get from Santa Barbara to the Santa Ynez Valley right now. And again, Sheriff Brown said that will be the case throughout the day. They are not expecting Highway 154 to reopen today. During the last news conference, Sheriff Brown said Highway 101 northbound, also in that area, would likely not open until tomorrow morning when they can get some heavy machinery out there after the rain lets up to remove some of those boulders that have gotten out onto the road.
Sounds like one of those netting systems failed, which is interesting. Well, the flooding is extensive, as we have been showing you throughout the day. It is causing issues up and down the coast. Our crews have been driving around Santa Barbara all day long. You can see the conditions. Neighborhoods on Santa Barbara's east side were so flooded, we actually interviewed a man who was paddling a kayak through the streets earlier this afternoon. Safety experts stress if you don't need to be on the roads, don't be. Please stay home.
In San Luis Obispo County today, heavy rain is also causing significant problems all across the area. In San Luis Obispo, several roadways have been flooded, including Los Osos Valley Road near Highway 101. The intersection at Calle Joaquin was under several feet of water this afternoon. The San Luis Obispo Creek has swollen far beyond its normal size, flooding roads and fields. Highway 101 northbound was closed today at the Avila Beach off-ramp. Traffic was diverted back onto the southbound lanes. SLO County also experienced downed trees, damaged bridges and road surfaces, flooded cars, and many other issues.
This rain has been atrocious, and the wind, unbelievable. You can see, behind me, of the evidence.
This is incredible. We don't see it like this very often. I don't know if I've ever seen it this intense. I mean, this is coming down.
In Shell Beach, part of a bluff near Dinosaur Caves Park is now eroding. Pismo Beach has closed a section along Ocean Boulevard and is warning people to stay away from the dangerous area, and the city of Atascadero put out an emergency shelter-in-place order, as these officials are saying if you do not have to leave your home and be on the roads, stay home. Our team coverage continues with News Channel reporter Mina Wahab.
And she's live in Santa Barbara tracking the dangerous conditions on the south coast. Mina, what are you seeing right now?
Residents up and down the coast are being urged to stay home and off the roads and to pay close attention to flood warnings and evacuation orders. Usually you can see the freeway from the vantage point we have right here on TV Hill, but as you can tell right now, it is very cloudy, very overcast, and it is pouring rain. The US 101 northbound freeway is closed at Mariposa Reina due to debris flow north of that location. State Route 154 is also closed in both directions due to multiple rock slides. Beaches are closed to the public for the time being. The sand berm at Camp Carpinteria Beach appears much lower today than it was a few days ago.
It's all eroded today. You can tell it's all crumbled and fell down.
You can just walk down, and actually the waves hit the sand berm now, so it's not even safe to go down there.
It's crashing against
You have to stop right at the dunes or else you're gonna get taken away.
The water's just swirling right there.
And there's so many loose logs and trees that it's not worth it to go down there.
Santa Barbara CHP says the Interstate Freeway 5 freeway can be used as an alternate route. There is currently no estimated time for the reopening of the other freeways, but we will be giving you live updates about the storm every 30 minutes. Live in Santa Barbara, I'm News Channel reporter Mina Wahab.
All right, taking that Highway 5, Interstate 5 is a detour.
It's a long way around,
it's
isn't it?
Safer.
Yes,
But yes, it's a long way around.
Make sure you have our First Alert weather app. Track the storm using our live interactive radar all day. We will also send alerts for severe weather in your area. It's free to download for iPhone and Android devices, and we will have more news after a quick break. Stay with us.